Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Smash for Monday, September 11th, 2023. I'm Rick.
I'm Kelly.
Obviously 9/11 is a very important day for America. It was a huge day for me because I was there when the towers fell, and I will talk about that a little bit later in the news. But for now, I just want to say how wonderful it is to be here in this home in Westhampton. We got so much done here. Shoshana, we just put her on a train. My daughter Shoshana was a huge help.
Huge help.
Thank you, Shoshana, for pitching in. We had a lot of beautification projects, and we have a lot of videos to share. It's cool. And we buried at St. Joseph's today.
Yes.
More on that in a moment. Ilya wine, we just popped this bottle. Our last night here. Cheers. Cheers to you.
Well, we're leaving at 3 a.m. We have to leave here at this house at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, it's Sunday night. We're out. We're on a 5:45 a.m. flight out of JFK. So in order to get there at 4, we need to leave here at 3. Maybe a little before 3. It's not going to be fun. But once we get there and we get on that Mint flight, it's going to be nice. We're just going to go to sleep.
I hope I can go to sleep.
I hope you can too. Ilya Wine sponsors the Daily Smash. We're big fans of Ilya Wine, and we know you will be too. Get yours at 20% off using the discount code RickandKelly20 at Ilya.com. If you buy 3 or more bottles, you get free shipping. If you buy 1 or 2 bottles, you get the 20% off. This is what it was just explained to me by Layla Joy Williams, who owns the company. It's a great deal either way because the wine is very, very fairly priced, and it's terrific wine, and it's delivered right to your door.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So get yours. This is
my favorite.
Moscatel Macabeo.
We opened some up at Ramona's house yesterday. Everyone loved it. So thank you, Ilya.
Yeah.
Once again.
I was going to show some video at Ramona's house, including her dancing poolside, until I realized that it has music on it. And unless I change the music, but then you can't hear us talking. So I'm going to put the Ramona video on this week's Patreon, this week's Rick and Kelly show on Patreon. If you haven't signed up yet, last week's show 107 has Kelly reacting to the Jeff Lewis, Heather McDonald drama. And
we're going to be on his show on
Thursday.
On Thursday.
But
I'm not even looking forward to.
You're not. Because you don't want to deal with it.
I don't want to get involved. Okay?
But about 400 people signed up in the last 4 days to hear Kelly's take on this thing. If you haven't signed up yet, it's episode 107. It's out now on our Patreon. You get all 107 episodes. In this week's show, we have some other surprises for you. But one of the things we're going to put in there will be this Ramona video. Her house is beautiful.
Her house is stunning. Stunning. I mean, the way she has it decorated and her outdoors is amazing.
Her property is beautiful. She's on this gorgeous pond with incredible sunset views, right?
I love her boyfriend. She doesn't want us to show him. But
yeah, we're not allowed to talk about him.
Well, we can talk about him. We can say we like him.
I like him a lot.
He's
a good guy.
A lot.
Big fan.
Yeah.
And we're the same age.
She doesn't want me to show pictures. She wants to keep him hidden. I get it.
He's slightly older than me.
He's exactly your age.
Yeah, he's like 4 months older.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it, I got to show you respect now.
She has,
I like that guy.
Her body is incredible.
She looks great.
Oh my gosh.
She's older than me, so I guess she's older than him. But we had a great time with Ramona, a great time at her home. We went out for a terrific meal at, was it Valara in Southampton? A Mexican place? A New Mexican
It was
place?
good.
It was terrific.
I don't know if it was New Mexican. I think it was just Mexican.
Oh.
But it didn't taste like...
Well, I meant it was a new restaurant.
It didn't taste like Mexican. It
like
tastes like...
This is white Mexican. It's not California Mexican.
No. Or Cabo Mexican, or New Mexico Mexican, or Arizona Mexican. It was white people Mexican.
Are we allowed to say that?
Is that racist?
I don't think so. And as a Mexican, I'm pretty sure you can say whatever you want about Mexican.
Oh, I don't know. I'm Native American. I couldn't wear the freaking headdress.
That's true.
Because it was misappropriation, which I'm 30%. I mean, I'm Mexican. That means half Spaniard, half
Portuguese?
Native American.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're at least 28, 29%, according to your 23andMe. I wanted to show some videos from our work in the yard. This one was me mulching, but I did it on that time lapse. It was kind of cool. Mulching the front.
He's such a doer. I mean, how did I get so lucky to get a husband like this? Honestly.
Seriously?
What did I do?
I'm the lucky one.
What did I do to deserve this?
If you only knew how lucky I was.
Look at this.
Is there a bug in there? Get out of here.
It's fruit flies.
It's amazing what, first of all, I found this place that sells, they sell stone, slate, mulch. And I got I think it was half a yard in the pickup truck for $20. Mm-hmm. And you see what the difference that made. It's remarkable how much better things look when you just put some fresh mulch on there. Then we did this. I don't have video of us hanging the lights, but I just shot this a little while ago. It's not quite dark yet, but this is what the lights look like. We just bought a bunch of string lights from Home Depot.
Rick did that.
That was not easy.
We usually went up from the top so they could see the water views.
Oh, from up top on the roof deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just wanted to show what the lights look like hanging over the pool.
The water is right there.
Beyond that cabana, beyond those trees is the bay. But the deck looks terrific. The guys painted it and replaced some boards, and now with the lights up there, I just think it's a good look. And then Kelly went while we were doing projects here. Kelly went to Home Depot and got some flowers, and then some red spray paint. So we had to sand and then paint those chairs. You and Shoshana did that. And I planted the flowers in the pots. So I had 3 pots. I just had to take out the old dirt. And there's Shoshana. She was sanding the chairs.
She did so much work. Gosh, I mean, she was with us for the entire almost 9 days we were together. I was like, I wonder.
She said she had a good time.
She did. It seemed like it was sad to see her go, actually.
But see the flowers. Look how nice they are.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was sad to see her go too, and we're gonna spend more time with her. It was nice to see her. Got the ping pong table out there. Connect 4 now. You guys did a nice job on the chairs. And okay, so
we don't have to show this part.
The
please.
St. Joseph's thing.
Yeah, no, we don't have to do that. I just buried St. Joseph's. We don't have to talk about it. We said the prayer. We dug them.
Oh.
And
you don't want to show my naked body?
No, I don't want all these girls lusting after you.
I look pretty good, even though I haven't been to the gym in a week. I gotta say, I'm looking at my naked upper body right now. Pretty ripped. And then, there were storm clouds. Crazy skies, right?
I don't see that. That never happens in California, and I mean it did in Arizona when the monsoons came. But I haven't lived in Arizona since I was 27.
We did see some dark clouds rolling in the desert a couple times, and then we got some rain. Remember that? Mm-hmm. But the skies were ominous, and then sure enough, it did start raining. And I was shooting this really to shoot the lights, but also since we had the build up for the rain. Looks good out there.
So when is this house getting set on the market?
So next week, this coming week, they're going to have a broker's open house, I think Thursday, and then.
And when is Emma going to come clean?
She's coming Monday.
I would totally do it, but I don't want to.
You don't need to. We're going to have her do it. She's a professional. So I was going to do a whole story about David Rockefeller, because Shoshana told me that the guy had 6 heart transplants, including one when he was 99 years old. I'm like, that's too funny that someone would have a heart transplant at 99. I'm like, what a waste of time. And I was like, what did the doctor say? I have good news and bad news. You're going to need a new heart, but we, that heart you have is no good, but we have another one for you. I was like, wait, 99? Turns out it wasn't true. Well,
that happened to my uncle, Tony. He was dementia, diabetic, like on his last leg. I guess he broke his hip. And when your brain is scrambled, you can't say what hurts you. Right. It's really sad. And
they gave him the surgery.
They gave him a hip replacement, and then he died like a week later.
Well, I just want to be clear. That was a terrible series of events. David Rockefeller did not have 6 heart transplants. I don't think he had any heart transplants. It was a fake story that Shoshana read and thought was real.
Well, because Shoshana is 27. She's like Jolie. Like, they're know-it-alls. And it really upsets Rick because Rick goes, okay, what's the facts? Because Rick is a fact-based person.
As a journalist, facts matter.
Yeah.
So we had a debate the other night, and she had nothing to back up these statements she was making, and then this happened, and I was like, Shoshana, you got, you can't believe everything you read, and
and she's like this. She doesn't argue with you, though.
Yeah, because she
doesn't argue with you.
She doesn't want to deal
with
it.
She's easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, I love her.
She's a good kid.
I love this girl.
She's a good kid,
and she loves to hang out with us. She likes to do dinners. She likes to I feel like she's my buddy. Like she's my friend.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna bring her out to
so
California.
Lucky. I wish 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? So I'm going to do 9/11 in the news. I was going to do Joe Burrow in the news because we talked about him last week, the Bengals quarterback who signed the largest per-year contract in the history of the NFL. He signed a 5-year extension for $275 million. Sunday was his first game under this new deal, and he had the worst game as a pro ever. He was 14 of 31 for 82 yards and no touchdowns. So he averaged 2 yards a pass. No, 4 yards a pass. Whatever it was nothing. It was his worst day ever. I was like, well, and Shoshana's like, well, he still gets paid the same.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, actually, that's true.
What gives you the incentive to do well, though? You just want to do well for yourself?
Players play harder and better when they're trying to win a new contract. Mm-hmm. But once they get it, what's the incentive at that point?
Right.
I mean, I guess you want to live up to the deal. You don't want to be a goat. I mean, not a goat, a bum in that sense. I don't know.
I liked Ramona's boyfriend. He kept going. He goes like this. When he sits down, he's like this. Asia's husband does that.
Really?
Like this, yeah. It's so cute. I like that.
We had a good conversation. He's an interesting guy.
He is great.
In the news now?
In the news.
It is 9/11. I was there that morning when
Can
those
we
planes...
show a clip of you, or is that copyrighted? Even though you're in
Fox might have a problem with that.
Because you were the first person on there.
I was
on Ground Zero.
I think I was the first network correspondent to go live at the scene, and I know for a fact that every station in LA at one point was taking our feed because it was fair use, because it was a terror attack in progress, so anyone could use anyone's signal that day, and they all took mine because I was on the ground with people walking out of that smoke cloud right after the tower fell. So we were all over the air, but it was just the most ridiculously challenging and awful day that I ever experienced as a reporter. And the biggest challenge was trying to maintain my composure in the face of all this chaos.
Were you trying not to cry? Did you want to cry?
I've always been really good about not getting too emotional on stories. It wasn't until a couple weeks later that I broke down and cried at home about everything that I had been through. But at that day, no, I was focused on gathering facts, trying to separate the rumors from what we could report with confidence, and just trying to navigate this nightmare scenario. I mean, the interviews I was getting, there was often no need for a follow-up question. I would ask one question: what did you see? What happened to you?
If you Google Rick Leventhal 9/11, you'll see him.
Yeah.
God, you look young. How old were you?
I was 41.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was 22 years ago.
Wow.
And again, my point was that when you would ask somebody one question, and they would just tell you the most ridiculous story you've ever heard in your life. The guys who walk down 70 flights of stairs, in chaos, and then they come out onto the street, and it's like the world ended. And they would tell me these stories, and I would just be like, "Wow, okay, thank you," and move on to the next.
Wait, can you tell me really quick how your friend got like mouth cancer, or He got some kind of cancer?
One of the producers I worked with, Jonathan Wachtel, was down there that day with me, and he was down there every day after that for months, the months going forward. And he developed a cancer that he believes may have been caused by the air he breathed down there. A lot of these firefighters and first responders
did they end up
came
getting
down
cancer?
with rare cancers.
Really?
Yeah, and so that's why they created this whole fund. But they also have, there are ways for you to basically claim
A settlement.
yes, if you can prove or at least give evidence that you suffered. And he got cancer in his face, like he lost half his nose. And I haven't seen him in person. I've talked to him on the phone and email with him, and I gave him information. I backed up his, just basically gave his attorneys the information, the confirmation that he was there.
Did he end up getting any money from that?
I think it's in progress. He hasn't collected yet.
How much money will he get from that?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Hundreds of thousands, maybe more. Maybe it's.
What happens if you get cancer? Would you claim that?
It's been so long. I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's
How
an
can they even
interesting
prove it?
Well, maybe if there was a higher incidence of these particular kinds of cancers in people who were there, and he has that kind of cancer, then he could argue that there's no history of this in his family, and the only common denominator here is that he was there breathing that air, which we now know it was toxic. And I breathed that air too, but they kept moving us further and further away from the scene that day, and then the days that followed, I was a few blocks north. I did wake up 2 days later with a really bad cough. And that was my only, and then after that one day it went away.
I mean, did you breathe all those, did you want to wear a mask or anything like that?
I didn't have one.
Oh, you didn't have one?
No, and once the dust settled, it wasn't.
When you went on the scene, was it one tower already down?
No, they were on fire. And this is the first chapter in my book, Chasing Catastrophe, by the way, which I and would encourage you, if you're interested in reading about the craziest stories I covered, and maybe it's kind of like a self-help book too, because of my rough beginnings. Anyway, I would encourage you, and I would love it if you would get my book. It's on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
Rough beginnings. Your parents are doctors. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but I screwed up.
Oh, you're talking about,
I
yeah.
dropped out of college a couple times. I was kicked out of my house, my parents' house, and I had to fend for myself. And I eventually got my act together. But when I got down to ground zero, I went through a few police lines, and then I got to the last line. They wouldn't let me get any further. I was 1 block north of the North Tower, and I looked up and saw both towers on fire. When I headed downtown, only one plane had hit one tower. And while I was on the subway, the second plane hit.
Could you see could you see?
I could see the flames.
You could see the flames.
The plane had
you
already
didn't see
hit.
the people falling out.
I did not see that, but I have cameramen who were haunted by it
Oh my!
for the rest of their
God.
lives.
Could you
Haunted.
imagine? That's some PTSD right there.
Yes, I was so glad that I wasn't on that side of the building, because they were jumping on the west side of the building and I was on the east side of the towers. But when I looked up and saw both on fire, I looked at the police officers, female police officer who was standing there. I said, "What happened to the second tower?" And she goes, "Well, that's where the second plane hit." And I knew right away we were under attack. I knew it was a terror attack.
Does it feel differently that our country is so divided and no one can have a conversation? Everyone has to hate on each other. When at that time the country came together?
That's a really good question, because I have never seen America more united in my lifetime than we were after 9/11. It didn't matter what political party you were. It didn't matter who you supported or where you stood on social or other issues. What mattered that you were an American, and we were all in it together.
Right.
And people supported the troops. They supported the efforts. In retrospect, maybe we made some moves that we shouldn't have made overseas. Like maybe invading the wrong country. I get that. But at the time, we didn't know. Yeah. And at the time, people were rallying, supporting each other. Even just going down to ground zero. I mean, the people who pitched in, and there were people lining the streets, applauding the first responders as they would leave after a 14-hour shift. They would line the West Side Highway and applaud the people who were leaving ground zero.
Wow.
The workers. It was really, I just got chills. And whenever I watch the video, I get chills. I definitely have PTSD from 9/11.
You do?
I do. But I can handle it, it if I watch the footage, I get chills.
I get PTSD from my ex-husband, Michael.
Which
I'm
one's
not
worse,
lying.
do you think?
Michael.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not joking.
In any event, I guess what I want to say is that I am going to be on Newsmax. If you're watching this in the morning on 9/11, I think I'm on at 9:15 a.m. Pacific time. Oh, noon 15 Eastern. So 12:15 Eastern. I just want to say that one of the things that strikes me now as the years go by is that there are a lot of young people who were not alive.
Like Jolie.
Like your daughter, my stepdaughter, who was not born yet. And even the kids who were born around that time, they don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there are a growing percentage of the population that has no intimate experience with that awful day. And because of that, I realize that the longer time passes, the more people
They forget.
They forget. And that's why they say never
Don't forget. Never forget.
Never forget, because
my mom's probably texting me.
because you forget, and then you're doomed to repeat the past. And we could fall victim to a similar plot if people aren't vigilant and don't keep their eyes open and, you know, see something, say something. That's true. But it's important for people to remember this day, to focus on this day, to pay their respects to all of the 3,000 people who lost their lives, and so many more lives that were forever altered because of those events. And I just pray that we don't have to go through that again.
Yeah. It's so weird, like, just being in New York. It felt great. I don't feel like it's at all. I didn't feel unsafe at all.
I didn't either, but you did have the funniest line before we moved to California. Before I moved to California with you in 2020 about what the city smelled like, and then it all came back to us when we were down there the other night.
Yeah, it did.
What does the city smell like?
Pee and marijuana.
Weed and piss, she said.
That's what I said. Weed and piss.
The city smells like weed and piss. It's more so now.
Yes, it does. Because it's hot.
They're selling weed legal in New York apparently now.
Oh my God! It's like, oof, the smells.
It was great to go downtown. We had a great night out. Thank you again to Noam to work in at the Comedy Cellar. Oh, that was the other thing, the crazy thing. Did we talk about that on Friday?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We're trying to get Shoshana a job there.
Yeah. Good luck, Shosh.
Good luck.
Thank you guys for your support. And if you haven't subscribed here on YouTube, please do so. We're trying to get our numbers through the roof, and we're on our way. We've gained 40,000 subscribers in a year, and we want to get to 100.
Watch Rick on Newsmax.
Yeah, watch me on Newsmax, and get yourself some Ilya wine.
And please subscribe to this channel. Thumbs up, notification bell.
And the Rick and Kelly Show on Patreon. You're going to love it. I promise you.
That's right.
Longer, unfiltered, uncensored, and commercial-free.
So cute.
We're going to pack and get ready for a late-night drive to JFK. Middle-of-the-night drive.
Yeah.
You think we'll sleep first?
I don't know.
Might try. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Have a smash-tastic day, everybody. Mwah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.